Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew, and to Yahweh Shai, when you ignorantly call Jesus Christ his name in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the Apostle Elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the few brothers and a few sisters of the Alpha elect. All right, that may hear this. Brother Ariaga from Grand Rapids, Michigan camp here with another nifty lesson. Let's get into it. What's going on in this video? You see this, bald-headed Edomite, and basically he's spazzing out. Now, this is an 18-minute video, but I think that, in all actuality, fair use first and foremost. But I think that, in itself, the video is very telling of where Esau and his kingdom is right now, and his mannerisms, and just to show you, well, let's go ahead and pull up the scripture really quick before we get to it. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 28. It says, the Lord shall smite thee. Oh, no, let me go down. Excuse me. This is Deuteronomy 30 and 7. It says, and Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate him, which persecuted thee. And who did that the most? Who was the most deserving of that title? Esau, Edom. Starting from the elites all the way down to the average Joe six-pack. Okay? So in this lesson, I just wanted to point out how these curses are already coming down on Esau's head. All right? As you see this Edomite spaz out, which he has the legitimate gripe. All right? But, or yet, this is just a sign of the times. And trust and believe that role reversal is taking place right before our eyes. Okay, let's get into it.
I got a call this morning from AAA. AAA is a car insurance company. Car insurance is something that you pay for because you have to for some reason. When you become an adult and you attempt to live in society, every single aspect of being alive costs between $100 and $1,000 to $2,000. Every single thing. And the older that you get, the more things keep being added. So you work like a...
Right, because once again, that's part of those curses. Part of those curses.
A month, so that you can afford every single hand that's sticking out in your face saying, you have to pay this because otherwise you won't have car insurance because you need car insurance to drive, and you need car insurance because you have to drive a car and you have to go to your job and you have to do all this stuff. And please, if you're thinking at this point, well, you don't have to have car insurance, you just...
All right, that is a Ponzi scheme. That whole car insurance situation, yes, that is all a Ponzi scheme. Esau has so many crooked ways of making money off of you in this place, this wicked ass place that we are in. All right, insurance in general, paying all kind of different mortgages, and you subject to land tax, even though, look, man, this shit is just ridiculous.
If you want to drive a car, then you have to get insurance because that's your decision. No, it isn't. No, it's not my decision because I live in a city that is car dependent. I live in a country that is car dependent. So don't be fucking cute and say that I should take the Los Angeles Metro. Spare me. Got a call this morning from AAA law enforcement. Or fucking goddamn it. From AAA, I don't even know what it, from AAA car insurance. AAA car insurance. And they said, Mr. Henschel, there's a problem. Another thing about being an adult is that you have something called a cell phone. On your cell phone, you get about 100 calls a week that are complete gibberish nonsense from a basement in Malaysia. You get 100 phone calls a week from random series of numbers. If you answer the phone call, you will hear complete silence. You also get one phone call a week that if you don't pick it up, it will ruin your life. Right. So somewhere in there is an extremely important phone call. The same thing happens with your mail. Every week, you get 1,000 fucking pieces of trash. And one very, very important letter that if you don't answer, you go to jail. This morning, I got one of those phone calls in the magic grab bag. And I picked it up. It was AAA. And they said, Mr. Henschel, unfortunately, it seems that there was a lapse in your coverage because you switched your driver's license. You had a Maryland driver's license, and then you got a California driver's license. And you need to give us your California driver's license information now. Otherwise, you don't get to have car insurance. And if you drive your car, you can go to jail. So I said, okay. Keep in mind also, the thing that really bothers me about all these people, car insurance, credit card, landlords, fucking everybody, the utility company.
I mean, it ain't that some shit. Your own vehicle. You do not have car insurance. You will go to jail. My brother's car got taken away because he just bought it and was going to park it in front of my house. He was on his way to park it in front of my house after he bought the car. He was going to get some insurance on it in a couple of days. What happened? He gets right up the street from my house on Straight Street, and the police pull him over, just so happened. And they wouldn't even let him bring his car over here to park it. They arrested him, and they impounded the fucking car because he didn't have insurance.
The water company, they all speak to you as though you are voluntarily doing this, as though they are doing you a favor. I don't want to pay for any of this shit. I don't want to do any of this. I didn't ask to do any of this at all. I didn't ask for it. I didn't even ask to be fucking alive. I don't want to do this. I don't want to pay my car insurance. I don't want car insurance. I don't want to give you my new driver's license. I don't want to fucking do that. But I have to for some fucking reason. Because for some fucking reason, in order to be alive, you have to pay 20 different people $200. And you have to keep reciting random digits of numbers. Everything about being alive is just fucking numbers over and over again. Important numbers for this, important numbers for that. You gotta type in this password, you gotta type in this number, you gotta type in this thing, and if you get it wrong, you're gonna go to jail. I didn't say any of this to the lady. I just said, sure, let me just give you this fucking number so that I can move on with my life and attempt to enjoy anything about anything. Here it is. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clacks for a little while. And then she says, I'm sorry, Mr. Henschel. We can't offer you coverage. So I said, excuse me? Because I've had AAA for 3 fucking years. What's the problem? And she said, well, it appears that you were in an accident about a year ago. And I said, yeah, I was. I was in a fender bender. My one accident that I've had in the past 5 years. I drive because I'm forced to by society. I drive for about 75% of my day, every day. And one fucking time, an old lady cut in front of me going 20 miles per hour on the freeway, and I couldn't slow down in time, and I bumped her in the back of the car. Remember, this is a satire account. And she said, well, it appears that this was a 2-point accident. And I was like, what does that fucking mean? Everything is numbers, remember? Random numbers that mean something for some reason. It was a 2-point accident, and we can only insure you if you have a 1-point accident. So I was like, what does that mean? And she said, well, a 2-point accident is when the person claims injury. So you hit this person, and then apparently she was injured. So I was like, well, how do we know that? I mean, what do you mean she was injured? It was a very, very light accident. And so what if she was injured? Last I checked, the only conceivable point of having car insurance is in case something like this happens. That's what car insurance is supposed to be for, in theory. When you think about if there is any rational reason why you would need to have car insurance, it is for the purpose that if at one point during the 75% of your life that you're in a fucking car, you happen to get in an accident, you're not completely fucked. So why, if I got in one accident, am I fucked anyway? Because the last time that I checked, the reason I was paying for this fucking shit, $200 a month, $300 a month, was in case anything happened, right? So then why, if something happens, then am I not allowed to have the insurance that I fucking paid for in case something happened? Why did I bother then? What are you for? Are you just a fucking mafia that you come to collect your $200 every fucking month?
Oh, real quick. This is Ezekiel 7:17. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. And that's what you see happening in the society right now. All hands are becoming feeble. People that had, even Esau doesn't have $500 or $1,000 in their savings account anymore. The average Edomite. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Like you said, 20 different people, $200 every month, and you know what I'm saying? They nickel and diming you, $100 in your ass to death, 20 and 30 and 40 here, and $100. You know, it says they shall. Ezekiel 7:17, all hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. It says, they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them. And shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. And that's funny because, you know, this Edomite's bald as hell. But, you know, they don't have any covering for themselves, man. I mean, you assed out here. There's no safety net, you know. This is why this Edomite is so typed up, you know, crashing out.
I need to use your service for anything. Then I'm totally fucked because then I can't renew your stupid fucking insurance. And I said, so I didn't say any of this. I just said very politely, well, I was kind of stunned for a minute because all of that was going through my head. And I said, well, what are my options then? And she said, well, now you can't be insured by AAA, so we work with another agency who blah, 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 and then we'll call this person, they'll call you, and then you call them, and then they'll give you the numbers, and then you give them the numbers, and then you'll have to pay a much bigger number than you were already paying before. The point I'm trying to illustrate here is, what the fuck? I didn't ask for any of this. I, this morning, woke up and I said, God fucking damn it. I just need a fucking win. I just need one thing. Just one thing. Please, God. I don't believe in God. But I said a prayer last night. I said, God, can you please just let one good...
There it is. All right, let me point this out quick. You heard what he said. I don't even believe in God. which is right, for an Edomite. It's Psalms 10:4 says, "The wicked, through the pride of his kindness, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts." And that's one of the dead giveaways, because a lot of Edomites, deep within their heart, outside of sweet baby raised Jesus, because he looks like them, that blasphemous image. They don't believe in the Most High. Because his ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And pride, Esau's naturally a proud devil. Let's keep going.
Believe in God. But I said a prayer last night. I said, God, can you please just let one good thing happen tomorrow? Because I gotta be honest here. I'm paying all these random corporations my entire paycheck. And I can't figure out why. I don't want to, but I have to. I have to. I have to pay rent. I have to pay my bullshit. Why? I'm waiting for the guy to call me back that's at the other insurance company, so that I won't be in legal trouble for driving my car. And he hasn't called me. So. I don't get it. Because I guess my honest question is, what is supposed to be the good part of this? Is that just a question that everybody is too stupid to ask? Is that just a question that doesn't occur to most people who don't have mental health problems? Or is that a question that they just don't think about? What is supposed to be the fucking point? Why am I doing all of this? Nobody could tell me that at any point in my childhood. When I was in high school, when I was in school, and they were saying you have to get this grade so that you can get into a good college and you can get money to go to a good college, and you can go to college so you can get a job. And this is why you have to do all of these things that you don't want to do and that don't make any sense and that suck. And that is why you cannot enjoy a single second of your life, because if you do now, you won't be able to do all of these different things. And the question that I had over and over again to everybody in my life was, why? Why the fuck would I do any of that? Why do I want to do any of that? Why? What is the purpose of doing any of that? And nobody could ever give me a straight fucking answer. They would just be like, well, because you have to do that. But nobody could at any point ever tell me what the fuck was in it for me. So I didn't do it. Because I dared to ask the question, why? Don't you hate doing all of this? Why are you totally fine with all of this? Is it because you're fucking stupid? Because that's what I'm left to assume. Is it because you were too stupid to ask that question when you still had a chance to change your life? And now the fact that I am asking it is raising something inside you that you have tried to suppress so hard, because if it arises at all, you're going to fucking kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Because I bothered to ask why. They call me a spoiled brat. They called me entitled. And the whole time I sort of was wondering.
Hey, continuing on, Psalms 10:6. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved. for I shall never be in adversity. And that's the mind state of Esau in general. All right. That's why they always talk about that red-blooded American patriotism, and you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they always uphold those patriotic ideals when in all actuality, it's crumbling right around you. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. You can even hear it in this devil, and he's struggling. Let alone when they are in a good condition and they have money in their pockets and they're living reasonably well. You know.
Let me remind you of something. I didn't ask to be born. I've said that in a lot of videos because it's something that I think is another question most people don't ever consider. You are telling me all this stuff that I have to do as if I wanted to do it in the first place. You're telling me all of this as if I should be grateful for the opportunity to do it. I'm not. Okay? If you had asked me, if at some point when I was floating around in the ether, if you had asked me, would you like to be siphoned into a human body so that you can experience what it is like to live in a bureaucratic nightmare society? The good parts will be fucking, drinking, doing drugs, falling in love, but even that gets bad eventually. Having kids if you decide that you're so bored. And that's it.
And that's really how Esau look at having children. If you're bored. So we have children out of boredom, not to continue our bloodline, or, you know, not to just continue humanity in general. Not even to have your children set aside so when you get older, you know, they'll be able to take care of you if you're a great parent, you know. Just because you're bored. I just had some babies because I didn't have shit else to do, so I started fucking and now I got some babies. That's Esau's mind state, man. This Agent 47 looking motherfucker is an Edomite through and through, man.
No, your relations, yeah. I would have said no. I'm perfectly happy floating around in this ether here, this little ball of gas. I'm good. But I didn't have a choice because I fucking, no offense, but I am the product of somebody's boredom. The reason that I was created was because I was something to do. I was something to fill the time. I was the lazy answer to that question for somebody else. And now I am expected to perpetuate that cycle of abuse and usage.
Abuse and usage.
Well, I'm not going to. That's why I'm not having kids. We got enough. I'll figure something else out to do with my time. Still nothing.
Yeah, this devil is getting a reality check. Let's get into a little script real quick and I'm going to finish out this video. Deuteronomy 28:28. Now, these are the curses that if we did not follow the Lord, he said these are the same curses that will come upon us. Same curses that is upon us this very day. That if we didn't fulfill his word, follow his laws, statutes, and commandments as Israelites, all right, this is what would happen. It's Deuteronomy 28:28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Your heart right there Not the heart in your chest, it's your mind. Evil word love. And yeah, you are astonished about the amount of payments that you are subject to, you know, like it doesn't stop in this place. It only gets worse and worse. Now Trump is rolling back. You got that big beautiful bill out, and anybody that's on Medicaid, Medicare, and they try to take it away from, 14 million people. Look, man, all of this is slavery, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it. And Esau's right there with us. Because remember, these curses are going to come on to him, right? It says, and thou shalt grope at noon, Deuteronomy 28:29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as a blind who gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled even more, and no man shall save thee. We are the epitome of this. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. We are the epitome of that. And so now looking at Esau being in this broken condition, expressing his vain morals and lack of morals and values, you're getting a raw view at how the average devil in his kingdom is doing. And it's not good. He don't even have children. He's all fucked up by himself. This is just showing you the reality of what's happening with these curses as they continue to unfold on Uncle Esau himself. Deuteronomy 28:34, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. And, hey, and I remember they always used to keep a stiff upper lip, and you got to look at the positive side. You got to be grateful, even though all this shit you might just say to us when we'd just be all broken down and destitute or in some really tight situation. Look at them. They don't want to hear. They quick to say that type of shit to us, But then when they're in that situation, look at them. You don't suffer just like we did, dog. Or are. Finished. That broken look on his face.
Well, I'll tell you this. Thank God this doesn't last forever. And thank God it doesn't make a fucking difference. Thank God. I never understood people who were afraid of death because, for me, that's my why. The only answer to the questions that I've raised in this video that I've been able to come up with is because I'm going to die. It doesn't matter. Fine. Fine. I'll get to go back to the ether, the floating cloud where I was before I was born. And I don't remember that. So.
Nah, buddy. You ain't going to get out that easily. That's not happening. You're going to go to the spirit world, get your judgment, and come right back down and serve it out. Deuteronomy 28:44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that's what they're going through now. All in debt, trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet. Yeah, they finding out what it feels like to be the tail. We already know what it feels like to be the ass part of every joke. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. Yeah. So this society, that's all we ever did. How many of these so-called Negroes, especially, or Latinos, natives have, was able to grow up and see your grandfather around? Because I know I wasn't. I don't know too many. They, Big Mama be around, especially for these so-called Negroes. But it's not often that we get to see our grandfathers, let alone our fathers and our grandfathers. Because back in the day, I mean, shit, they used to work themselves to the bone, to death, just to make sure we had some. And now Esau is getting a taste of his own medicine. He who taketh into captivity shall go into captivity. He who killeth with the sword must be killed by the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. See, that transfer of power is taking place now. All right. And it's destroying them, you know.
Fine. Maybe I'll even get reincarnated as a bougainvillea. Wouldn't that be nice? Although I hope it's not my bougainvillea that I got from.
You'll get reincarnated as an Edomite. Reincarnation is in the scriptures.
Home Depot, because I killed that thing in a month. Alright. I'm sick of this crap. See you later.
There you go. Yeah, Esau was in a broken boy. He had that destitute look on his face where his spirit was just all the way broken. That devil had to just sit there for a time. Yeah, buddy. This is the reality sinking in. These are the curses that are sinking in. Same curses that we've been under. They are under. Beautiful. Beautifully done. And that devil is ecstatic, boy. I wouldn't doubt. See, this is one of them devils that'd be like, fuck it, and just put his foot on the gas and shit and just pull out and start running motherfuckers over like it's GTA. And you'll look on the news and see him flying down the freeway just running over random people and shit, and running in the stores and shit, crashing it until the police, catch up with him, or he flip his shit and die, or they shoot the shit out of him or something. You're going to start seeing more of that because these Edomites are not accustomed to being in a low condition. Psalm 75:5, lift not up thy horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, because that stiff neck is proud neck. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. And he set us up in the kingdom to come, starting with 144,000 and 1/3, the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. It says, for in the hand of Yahweh there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out the same. But the dregs thereof, all of the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. And this is what you see happening now. Now they are drinking them. They are forced to drink these dregs, which is this slavery, this captivity. And they don't like it. It don't taste very good. Most High and smitten his head, took his hair. He just, the devil is going through it. But this is just a glimpse at what most of these Edomites are going through right now. Because their kingdom is coming to a swift end. Proverbs 11:31, behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth. And that's payback. So we're going to get that payback. It says, much more the wicked and the sinner. So behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth. Oh, we, as being the Lord's chosen people, we had to go through all of this crazy shit. And we got paid back for our sins. How much more the wicked? Y'all think y'all gonna get it? Y'all gonna avoid punishment, slavery, destruction? No. Most High said, that we are the apple of his eye, and you put your hand on it. And that's even to the average Edomite. All right, no telling what he was in his past life or who he was. He was an Edomite and he was doing his thing. But nonetheless, on this side, yo, this devil is broken down. Ecclesiasticus 7 and 12. Wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Well, he obviously doesn't have wisdom because he doesn't understand. One, he doesn't believe in the Most High, which is, hey, I pointed that out in the scriptures and not in all his thoughts. That's just natural for Esau. But on top of that, you don't even understand the purpose of being born and serving that purpose out, regardless of what you think or what you understand. That motherfucker called birth like just being bored and shit. You just give him because you was bored. You the product of your parents' boredom. Like that shit is crazy. That's how Esau thinks. That's why a lot of them don't have children. Isaiah 14 and 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like most high. And that's Esau's mind state, especially in the 70s, 60s. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Welcome to hell, motherfucker. Hell can be a low lying, degraded place. A pit, which is deep debt. Welcome to it, man. Yeah, this is a reality that's sinking in for the vast majority of these Edomites. It says, they that see thee should narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Yeah, these Edomites right here, just like this Edomite right here. Yeah, they was the ones, man. Not now. For the most part, these nations, hey, they're not afraid of this devil no more. And slowly but surely, as they get rid of that American dollar, they stand up against them, man. You know, Jeremiah 49 and 12, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup shall surely have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And that's what they're doing now. They starting to get their first sips of this captivity, and that shit is sinking in hard on them. Because they used to live in, even when Esau's life is considered difficult on this side, it's still easy mode compared to Jake. Jeremiah 49:15, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. It says, thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, that space program, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. All right. And that's the whole understanding of this place is being brought down. That pride, that arrogancy, technology, all these things are being brought down to the bare minimum as this place dwindles. Okay. And there's not going to be anything left. This devil is about to spaz out, man. He's about to spaz out and fuck around and just take a lot of motherfuckers with him. A lot of other Edomites, had that spirit of vengeance on them, you know. Let's see. Micah 6 and 10. And there yet the treasures of wickedness is in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable. And that scant measure, look at that real quick, Micah 6 and 10. Let's go on to the interlinear real quick. Look at that scant measure. treasures of wickedness. Let's see. All right, because that scam measure, a measure is basically a measurement of money, like a pound or a dollar. A dollar is supposed to be a troy ounce of silver. And you got the English pound, which is, a measurement of money, a weight.
Strong's H 7332. Razon. Razon.
This is for scant. It says leanness, scantness, wasting, leanness. All right. And this is what you see scantness of measure. Money system is all fucked up. And that spending power that they used to have is going out the window faster and faster. And even the average Edomite is going under. Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights? And back in the day, the real money is gold and silver. That was understood in the ancient world by everybody. And they would have the scales, and that scant measure or the leanness of this money, now it's just deceitful weights because purchasing power that even a dollar has the ability, it's all a facade because this money is devaluing every fucking minute. This place is finished, man. For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. And the biggest one is Esau. Therefore also I will make thee sick and smiting thee and making thee desolate because of thy sins. Thou shalt eat and not be satisfied, and thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee. And that's what you see with Esau, Edom. Their kingdom is being cast down in the midst of them. It says, and thou shalt take hold, but shalt not deliver. And that which thou deliverest will I give up to the sword. Most High is going to make this play. You're going to save this and spare that. And eventually all of it's just going to be set up for the sword to be destroyed anyway, because this place is finished. Thou shalt sow, but thou shalt not reap. Thou shalt tread the olives, but thou shalt not anoint thee with the oil and sweet wine, but thou shalt not drink wine. All right. And that's what you see down. Okay. It says, for the statues of Omri are kept, and all the works of the house of Ahab, and ye walk in their counsels. Because that was some wicked ass kingdoms. The kingdom Ahab, especially, with Jezebel, and they walk in their counsels. It says that I shall make thee a desolation, and the inhabitants thereof unhissing. Therefore ye shall bear the reproach of my people. And that's what you see now. They are bearing that reproach because according to Deuteronomy 32nd, the 30th chapter and the 7th verse, these curses are coming upon these devils. There's nothing they can do about it. That's the beautiful thing about it. Reality is sinking in and it's getting intense. And these devils are about to start spazzing out and doing what they do best, killing their children and then committing suicide, killing their families. And you're going to see more and more of this happen as we get further into this, 2025 and above. All right, reality is setting in for these devils, and stay circumspect. Pay attention to the system. Get your household in order. Seek the Lord while he may be found. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Natives, Israelites, regardless of your skin color. All right, so with that, I'm saying I had to do something on Agent 47. I might call it Agent 47 spazzes out as reality hits Edomites. All right, so like I said, I pray you will edify. To the next time, big shout out.